This video is sponsored by Opera. In a world where most phones have similar specs, there is always someone trying new things. I've been using the Vivo X300 Ultra daily as my main camera device for almost a month. And let me be upfront with you, it's good. First of all, the camera hardware here is one of the best on any of the smartphones I've tried. For a phone, the sensors on this Ultra are really big. Same as the last year, the main camera here is defaulted to 35mm. So naturally, I decided to film most of this video on my other 35mm prime lens. Why, you may ask? Because it's a super universal focal length. Although it is universal for professional cameras. On a phone though, sometimes I found myself wanting to go a little bit wider, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Because not only I tested all the cameras on this phone, but I also used it side by side with my S26 Ultra, Xiaomi 17 Ultra and iPhone 17 Pro. But in today's video, I want to focus just on the Vivo X300 Ultra, check out its photography kit with the telephoto lens and see if it's a gimmick, and that's why I will be comparing it to my proper full-frame 400mm photography setup with the brand new Sony 7 Mark V. So hit the like button and let's start. Alright, the processing on this phone is nice, but it depends on the subject you're shooting. There are a bunch of built-in filters which transform the photos a lot. And if you don't like a certain look, or you think that some other phones take better pictures, well, you just tweak the profile on the Vivo and that's it, done. You get the results that you'll be happy with. I showed you in my S26 Ultra camera settings how I set up its cameras for a filmic look. Well, here I can do the same. And adjustments on the Vivo are implemented in two ways. First, you can do the same thing as undertones on the iPhone, you just control the color and light, or there is more in-depth tuning, allowing you to even enable the halation, film grain, and so much more for your photos. And I've not seen this level of photo tweaking within the built-in camera app in a long time. You see, for me, Vivo X200 Ultra last year was the first phone I've seen with 35mm as a default focal length. Compared to 24mm on Samsung or iPhones, it does feel different. Usually with phones you get wider shots. In a way, this is what most people are conditioned to and are expecting out of a phone. But here the 35mm creates almost portrait-like effect. There is more bokeh, and since the sensor is quite big on a phone, it helps with better dynamic range. Also low light and once again background blur. But it's not perfect. You see, I love the X200 Ultra 35mm so much, I even set it up on my iPhone 17 Pro as a default focal length. I even put it in my camera tutorial there. But the thing is, for daily photos, sometimes you want to go wider, because not always you get enough room to move back to fit everything in the shot. And if on the iPhone, you can switch from 35mm to 24 while still using the main camera, here on the Vivo, you have to roll back to the ultra wide angle camera, which is 14mm. One good thing though, it's a pretty good ultra wide angle camera. Like, yeah, it's a bit soft at the edges, but it is so with every other phone I've tested. Unlike many other phones though, it looks much sharper in the center, and just overall the image quality feels really nice. So great job, Vivo. Portraits and faces on this phone are coming out really nice, although a little bit inconsistent. Like, you take a few shots few seconds apart, and for some reasons the result might be really different. But keep in mind, the phone was just released, and yes, I updated to the latest firmware, but I'm sure that we'll be correcting some of the stuff on it. And I will share in this video some things that need improvement, most of which is just one software upgrade away from making this phone perfect. For me, there are two highlights on this phone. The main camera, of course, and the telephoto, because it supports this thing. But even without that huge lens attachment, it's still a very good telephoto camera. First of all, it supports the macro mode. If you want to capture certain details on the subject, or you need to get a close-up shot, it works great. And I love the way they made a cool preview of the whole shot. It's using the wider camera, and that allows me to navigate the frame better. And the autofocus is really good in macro mode as well. And for everything else telephoto, Vivo X300 Ultra got 85mm focal length lens. It's sharp, got tons of details, and obviously on par with every other telephoto camera, and it's 200 megapixels by the way. But it's much larger than, let's say, S26 Ultra. Although I think the sensor on the Vivo X300 Ultra is made by Samsung. Maybe next year they will put it on the Galaxy S27 Ultra. Who knows? But it's already available here. And it's good. As I said, 85mm is the default focal length, but of course you can crop to see further, but that's when the AI processing kicks in. And at this point, I feel like you cannot hide from AI anymore. But there is a big difference between using it as a tool to sharpen your work, or letting it replace your own creative instincts. That's where Opera Neon comes in. Opera has been building browsers for over 30 years, and with Neon, they're exploring what a browser actually looks like when AI is built into it from the start as a part of your workflow. It gives access to most of the latest AI models like GPT 5.2, Gemini 3, and more, all under one subscription, so you don't have to open a separate chatbot. I personally like writing scripts for YouTube videos myself, but I still need help organizing my thoughts or brainstorming ideas. The core of my creative process is hands-on testing, but I still need to know exactly what to look for before I start. So I let the deep research agent in Neon handle that. I'll prompt it to summarize common user complaints regarding battery drain on the latest flagship phones, and it does the heavy lifting in about a minute. Another thing that helps with optimizing my personal workflow is using cards to manage my routine prompts and tasks. They act as shortcuts for work I do constantly, so I can stay focused without needing to set everything up from scratch every time. And if you are curious about it, you don't have to get Opera Neon right away. They have an open Discord where you can get early updates, talk directly with the team, and discuss AI workflows to get new ideas for your own setup. For $20 a month, you get access to all those high-level models directly in your browser. The link to subscribe to Opera Neon is in the description. Check it out. And that's when the new crazy 400mm lens comes in. And on this phone, I found myself using the telephoto camera more than any other one. I mean, this is pretty crazy. Imagine this is just a phone, but it allows you for so much. Oh, there was a cool horse over there. This is a street photography mode. I don't want to disturb it too much too. Whoa, that's too close. And keep in mind, it's getting darker a little bit, so if there was more light, the motion blur would not be as apparent. With the telephoto lenses like this, especially since it's not a full frame, you do need tons of light. Yeah, that's pretty cool that it's like a quick release thing, so I can attach it and keep on moving. If I see something else that's worth taking photo, then I can do so in a second. All right, so let's go. So just have a look. This is what I see right now. This is 14mm ultra wide angle lens, and there's this tower right here. And that's what it looks like on 85mm lens. Now when I attach the 400mm lens, I can zoom in this far. It's incredible. I used it also a lot for taking photos and videos of animals, birds, and I think it produces very good images considering it's a 400mm phone lens. And what's interesting is that I already posted a few vertical videos talking about it, and I've received some comments saying that this lens isn't practical, like who's gonna carry that extra stuff? Well, I carried this 400mm zoom lens when I travel. It is much bigger and heavier, like noticeably heavier. Obviously it's a full frame lens, so there is more glass inside, but for me, it's never been a problem. Like if you need a telephoto lens, you just take it. And having that Vivo lens just makes the whole setup way more compact. And that's the point where I'm just thinking about this versatility of this setup. Like the ultra wide angle lens, telephoto, and then you attach this 400mm, and the zoom range you get is just insane. I practically have all those focal lengths for my full frame camera, and if I were to take them with me when I travel, I wouldn't be able to walk with this backpack for a whole day. Whereas with the Vivo, it's way more manageable. And guys, as you're watching this video right now, I'm already testing this phone even more and comparing it against iPhone 17 Pro, Oppo Find X9 Ultra. I've taken some insane street photos with both of those flagships, and yeah, I cannot wait for you to see it. So make sure smash the like button, subscribe to stay tuned for more. It was a whole month worth of travels for me, and I'm sure you will enjoy it. Yeah, now back to the video. Not only I can travel with it, but also use it for daily commute. Even though it looks like camera, it's still a phone, and it has all the phone features, so you can call, check out social networks, post from it, or if you see something interesting and worth taking photo, then you just do take a photo. And with this setup, it's really easy. So in a way, it's like a cool hybrid between a camera and a phone. And I do love the aesthetics of it. Like the way it looks is pretty cool. Like it's all silver, the leash fits, and it's always ready to go. Whenever you see something interesting, you just, lift it up, take a photo, and since it's a phone with internet connection, you can post it right away to any social media, so that is cool. Like, I'm not saying you have to film every single video with this lens, but if you do like telephoto shots, well, here it is for you side by side. Both videos here filmed on the Vivo X300 Ultra. On the right is the 400mm lens attached, on the left is just digital crop to match the field of view. I think the difference is clear. So it's not only a wildlife lens, but it's just super universal tool that adds extra edge to my videos. And I will talk about its downsides too, but first, let's talk about film and videos on this phone. It supports all of the modern features, like there's auto and manual modes, log videos, and so much more. And by the way, they also added APV recording here. But if you don't want to color grade your videos, then stock images are very good too. Personally, I prefer filming everything in log, just so I can get better dynamic range and can color grade the footage later. And also with this case, there is a special ring that allows me to mount my ND filters. You will have to use the Pro mode, just so you can dial in your exposure. And by the way, the interface for the Pro video mode is really nice too. I love it. And log switch here looks like some cool interface from late 90s, early 2000s. Alright, now let me show you some things that need improvement. A lot of people, I think, would use this phone with external microphones for recording podcasts, street interviews, or something else. Well, the audio quality is great, it's just out of sync with the video. Like I posted this vertical video, which was shot on the Vivo, and the audio here is just out of sync completely. This is 35mm lens on the Vivo X300 Ultra, and now we'll switch into the telephoto lens, and I'll walk a little bit back. Is that okay? So this is 85mm lens on the Vivo X300 Ultra. So what I had to do is to disable the audio track and just lip sync it manually. So I found when I record in 30 FPS, the audio delay is around 15 frames, which is half a second in my case. And this is not easy to fix if you're using your phone. On a computer, sure, it's not a problem. But if you edit everything on the phone, then we need a software update to fix it. Other than that, this phone is a lot of fun, especially with this 400mm lens. Don't get me wrong, the telephoto camera itself is very powerful, but once you attach the 400mm, man, it's just next level. And when I'm using this phone as a daily driver, the battery life is incredible, the charging speed is fast, there are tons of really useful widgets here, by the way, and all the apps I'm usually using are working on this phone without any problem. And you know what's cool? If after a long day of shooting your phone ran out of battery, you just press this button right here and the grip will charge your phone, and I can enable it or disable with this power button right in the grip. And I have not charged the phone completely, and it was like 50% battery on it. Plus I took some photos and everything. So right now I'm charging it while it's just hanging here and waiting for something beautiful that I will see and want to take a picture of. And guys, I'm not trying to sell you this phone because there's one downside to it. Right now, if you want to get it with the photography kit and this lens, it's only available in 1TB version. Like currently, it's way over $2,000 right now. So while the device is really nice, the pricing could use some work. Although if you consider how much it offers, like ultra wide angle camera, portrait, telephoto one, and super zoom, well, you would go closer to $10,000 if you were using full frame setup. So let's compare the latest Sony full frame camera 7 Mark V and this Vivo side by side. And I'll tell you, obviously a dedicated pro camera will always be better, but in the right hands you can make the phone look closer to the camera. So 400mm on the Sony 7 Mark V and 400mm Zeiss lens on the Vivo X300 Ultra. Here's a blind comparison side by side for you guys. So this is the camera A, 400mm shot in log, and this is the camera B, similar framing, 400mm also log. And here they are side by side. So can you tell which one is a pro camera and which one is the phone? Or here, this is camera A, looks pretty good, I gotta say. This is camera B. And just so it's easier to compare, here they are side by side. Now let me know in the comments if you are able to tell which one is which. Camera A is the full frame setup and camera B is the Vivo X300 Ultra. As I said previously, a dedicated camera will always be better, but you can make a phone look great with enough practice and color graded. And since I used log profile on the Vivo, that was a bit easier for me to make the footage look decent when color grading. And I think overall it's a great travel camera, and I'm always happy to see companies experimenting with this kind of stuff. So let me know what you think about the Vivo X300 Ultra and what the next camera phone should I look at next. And make sure you are subscribed to the channel and like this video. It goes a long way and it helps me create better videos. Make sure to also follow me on Instagram because I post there some behind the scenes of my trips and how I test these phones too. And by the way, I just had a private factory tour of the Vivo phones and I saw how they stress test those phones, and I posted some of the stories already on Instagram. So if you follow me there, you already know. If not, you have to see that. They do some wild stuff with these phones, like putting them under -40 Celsius and so much more. You'll see in one of the upcoming videos too, and see you then.